Genesis 1, the creation. In the beginning. The earth was without form, the calm before the storm, and the Spirit hovered over the waters. The Creator then spoke, and the elements awoke, so teach this to your sons and your daughters. Creation Day 1. The story has just begun. God said, "Let there be light," and the light became real, divided from darkness. It had the Lord's seal. He named the light day and the darkness night. At the end of the first day all was going right. Creation Day 2, plenty more to do. God said, "Let there be firmament," and the waters were parted, placed above and below. He was just getting started. The firmament in the middle he then named heaven. It was the cake and God's word was the leaven. Creation Day 3, just wait and see. God said, "Let dry land appear," and waters were gathered, the continent took shape and the oceans lathered. God said, "Let there be grass and herbs and fruit-yielding trees," and all of it was so without spot or disease. Creation Day 4, but wait, there is more. God said, "Let the heavens be lighted for day and for night, a greater and lesser is called for and right. The greater is the sun and it rules the day, the moon rules the night and so it will stay. Let them be signs and for times and seasons. God knows what he's doing and had valid reasons. God set out the stars in the blanket of sky, and behold it was good, without word of a lie. Creation Day 5, the world's coming alive. God said, "Let there be fish aswarm in the sea, and the sky full of birds flying and free. And the great sea creatures, let's not forget those, the skies and the sea full of life's how it goes." Creation Day 6, let's diversify the mix. God said, "Let there be living creatures all over the land, all beasts and cattle by group and by band. And also the creeping things according to kind, and behold it was good, but back to the grind. God said, "Let us make man to be in our image, a keeper of all from our holy lineage." He then made a woman to help him along, to go forth and multiply. That didn't take long. God gave them all herbs to be for their food, all was abundant for the Adamic brood. They tended the garden and walked with their God, and all was provided without turning of sod. Creation Day 7, resting in heaven. Then God had a spell from the work he had done, and he blessed this day as a sanctified one. On this day remember that God made all things, so look around and enjoy the blessing it brings. Genesis 2, the garden and the fall. So God had made man from the dust of the ground, dirt into flesh pound for pound. And from man's rib, woman was fashioned, food was abundant with no need to be rationed. Eden was their home, God's own garden, they knew of no sin, so need for pardon. God provided their food and all else they required, two were one flesh and marriage was sire. Adam named all the beasts, birds and plenty of fish, and walked with God daily, everyone's wish. He and Eve were both naked without any shame, no stain or blemish and absent of blame. But there was a tree from which God said, "Don't eat," knowledge of good and evil will bring down the heat. God said, help yourself to everything else, that one is definitely bad for your health. Now the serpent heard this and told Eve, what a crock. God's put you in chains, so I'll spring the lock. Take a big bite and you'll be just like the Lord. She was tricked by a liar and master of fraud. Then Adam joined in and followed his wife, took a big bite and got into strife. They hid from the Lord when he came to the garden, for guilt and for shame and hoping for pardon. God said, what is this thing that you have done? Why do you hide and why do you run? Who said you were naked? Why the fig leaves? Your disobedience has made my heart grieve. So Eve told the Lord what the serpent had said, that she could eat freely and not end up dead. And God cursed the serpent to crawl on his belly, be forever their enemy, lowly and smelly. Then God said to Eve, for what you have done, your childbirth will be painful, your sorrow a ton. Your desire is for Adam and he'll rule over you, strife is now for your days through and through. Then God said to Adam, and as for you dude, you'll labor real hard for all of your food. The ground will be cursed with thistles and thorns, your hands will be blistered, your feet will be torn. So out they were cast, from the Garden of Eden, their grains to be grown, their bread to be kneaded. And God set a cherubim to guard Eden's gate, to keep man from making another mistake. So Adam and Eve set about their new life, full of ups and downs with trouble and strife. They went forth and multiplied as originally instructed, and so life went on and business conducted.